Hi, I'm Chris Stanfield,
And I'm John Shear.
and we're the Bearded Beast of Marketing. Stay tuned for this week's episode. How do you create a marketing plan?
As business owners, we're used to taking risk, but we don't like taking blind risk. We love taking calculated risk. What we want to do today is teach you how to build strategies and plans for your marketing so that you'll know exactly where your money is being spent, so that in the future, you'll be investing your marketing dollars into the right places. In addition to that, there's a lot of benefits to your team of having a good plan in place. So let's get down to the meat of the conversation. How do you actually build a marketing plan, and what's part of it? First thing you want to make sure you do is you want to make sure that when you're working on this that you get all the right people in the room. There's nothing worse than coming up with a plan and then having feedback down the road that you wish you'd considered the first time, and you just don't have everybody's buy-in. If somebody's going to need to buy into a tactic or participate, you should have them in on the planning so that 6 months from now when you say, oh, there's a shiny object we should go chase, that everybody can say, like, no, we were all in the room, we agreed to this plan, let's stick to that.
You might as well get buy-in early on. Everybody feels like they have a say, and they become more of a champion of the plan than perhaps someone who creates pitfalls along the way.
So Chris, now that we have everybody in the room, what do we do next?
So a marketing plan basically tackles 5 questions. The first question is, where could we be? Where is it that we want to take this business with our marketing? The second question is, where are we today in order to establish a baseline? The third question, why are we here? Why are we exactly where we are today? What are the obstacles that perhaps we need to overcome in order to achieve our vision? Fourth, how do we get there? That goes and speaks to the tactics, the things that you need. And then lastly, what do we need to do today specifically in order to achieve those goals?
So when you're done answering these questions, you'll have a lot of great insights about your business that'll probably help you with a lot more than just marketing. But you just have a lot of information at this point. What's the next step, Chris? What do you do to actually make this actionable?
So I'm going to outline 6 elements that go with a marketing plan. The first one talks about vision and purpose and goals, where you actually sit down with your team and you do some vision casting. You discuss things like, what is it where we want to go in terms of revenue? How many leads? What types of customers do we want to do? And that varies for everyone. But some general guidelines that you can use for setting a vision. It's good for 3 to 5 years. It's balanced in aspiration and reality. It's both qualitative and quantitative, and it's easily understood. So that's element number 1. Element number 2 is we do a SWOT analysis, a situational analysis, where we take a look at the strengths, the threats, the opportunities, and the weaknesses happening today and in the future in order to establish and begin to identify the third part, which are key issues. Once you set a vision and you analyze what opportunities you have today and possibly in the future, you have to ask yourself, what are the top 3 to 5 key issues preventing me from achieving that goal? And so we break those down and ultimately lead to strategies. Now, strategies are rooted first in a great understanding of who your customer is. And so we talk about creating a persona. We give them target descriptions. We understand what their pain points are, what their enemies are, what they are, how they buy, and then what we ultimately want a customer to think, feel, do, and share. Once we have a good understanding for that and we've identified those 3 key issues, we want to come up with a strategy or a plan for each one. So an example might be, one of our issues is that we don't have enough customers today to achieve the revenue goal that we set in vision casting. How do I generate X amount of dollars in revenue in the future if I don't have enough customers today? When you do that, you can begin to answer the question with a strategy, a plan, and that's really all it is. A marketing plan is about creating a strategy that answers those key issues. From there, once you have the strategy or a plan in place, again, we talk about what do we need to do as the final question. That's where we get into executional tactics. What marketing toolbox do we need to go to and pull a specific item out of in order to make it happen? And then ultimately, the most important, certainly one of our favorites, is measurement. And we talk about identifying KPIs, which are what we call key performance indicators, and metrics, which is simply a number attached to a key performance indicator. So when we talk and give the example of the key issue with getting more leads, How many leads? We want to obviously see a key performance indicator of we're getting more and filling that top end of the funnel, but the metric might be 10% more than we had in the first quarter or 20%. So that when you go back to that plan, that written document, you're meeting on a regular basis and you're saying, did we achieve it? Is this in the right place? When you go back to the house for a walkthrough, did the bay window get put in correctly? Was the kitchen placed where we said it was? Born of a good plan.
I love the measurement. One thing I love about marketing in 2020 is that so much is digital and can actually be measured. This ad generated X number of phone calls, X number of dollars, X number of leads.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely my favorite thing about it.
Yeah, so when your team understands how and why marketing tactics are coming together, you provide an extra layer of visibility into what you're trying to accomplish. I sort of equate it to building a house. You and I might go stand out in the field and say, the bay window's going to come here and the kitchen's going to go there. But when it actually comes time to build that and put that in place to execute on the plan that we discussed, we have a set of blueprints to go by, which is sort of the key component to a marketing plan, is that it's written down. It's a living, breathing, organic document that people can reference as the year goes by.
Having a written plan in place is always advantageous, whether it's a diet that you're trying to stick to, building something, or marketing. So just recap really quickly. Make sure you get everybody in the room, ask all the right questions, and spend the time to make sure that you understand your business, where it could be, what your obstacles are, etc. And then the third thing is, on paper, put down a blueprint for what you're going to do the next 12 months. That'll give your entire team stability. You'll be working towards the same purpose, and it'll just help decision making. Takes the emotions out of it. Make decision making super easy.